सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Amrita. Before we carry on with today's video, please press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Duryodhana was always very jealous of the Pandavas, and he was always trying out different ways and methods that he could use to possibly kill them so that he could have complete authority over the kingdom. So he, along with his uncle's idea, Shakuni's idea, he decided to build a wax palace for the Pandavas and then would eventually set up the palace on fire, which would eventually kill all of them. So he built this grand palace out of wax, but of course, none of them were aware that the palace was actually built of wax. He built this huge palace and presented it as a gift to the Pandavas. The Pandavas actually thought that it was a genuine gift and they agreed to go and live in that particular palace. But on their way there, they met their uncle Vidura, the younger brother of Pandu and Dhritarashtra, and Vidura warned the Pandavas that something was fishy and there was some danger that was awaiting them and warned them to be very cautious. Receiving the warning from their uncle, the Pandavas were very cautious and they, along with their mother Kunti, reached the palace and started living in that palace for some period of time. One night, Duryodhana planned to set up the palace on fire and the entire palace was set on fire. Since they had already been warned by Vidura, the Pandavas were very prepared and they had an emergency exit. The Pandavas, along with their mother, escaped through that place, came out of the palace and were alive. But according to the world, they had been dead. Duryodhana, Shakuni and his brothers rejoiced, celebrated the death of Pandavas. But on the other hand, Bhishma and Vidura were devastated. They were very disheartened, heartbroken. They approached Krishna and asked Krishna's advice on this. Krishna, being the Lord of the Lords, knowing everything, assured Bhishma and Vidura that nothing would have happened to the Pandavas and eventually, when the right time comes, they will return to Hastinapur. On the confidence given by Krishna, Bhishma and Vidura were very sure that the Pandavas would return. Now the Pandavas are homeless. They do not have money for food, for anything. They go and they are living in a village. They decide not to come back immediately to Hastinapur, but take some time and then return back to Hastinapur. So they are living in a small village. One night when the whole village is silent, when they were all about to go to sleep, the Pandavas hear a huge crying sound. And when they start searching as to who was crying and where the sound was coming from, they realized that it was their neighbor who was crying out in pain. They went and they asked him what had happened. There was a demon that had attacked the village, but they had an agreement with the demon that every day they would send huge amount of food and one person to that demon so that the demon would eat and not kill anyone else in the village. Now it was the turn of that particular neighbor. It was the turn of one member from the family to go. There was the husband, wife and the kids. The husband started telling that he would go in order to protect his wife and kids. The wife, she told that she would go so that the husband would be there to at least take care of the kids and she was helpless if he was gone. The kids, they were also crying, telling that they would go as the food to the demon and to save their parents. It was a very, very pathetic situation. Everybody was crying. They all felt terribly very bad. On hearing this, the Pandavas and Kunti empathized on them, felt very bad for them, and Bhima decided that he would go in the place of that person and would kill the demon and come back. The other Pandavas were not worried because they knew about the strength and about the valor of Bhima, and eventually that night Bhima took the huge truck of food to that demon as an offering. And on reaching that place, the demon was very happy on to see such a huge, humongous, fleshy person. Little did the demon know that that was the last day on earth. So eventually, Bhima ate up all the food that was present there, built up his stamina, bought in all the energy, and eventually killed the demon and made that village free from that demon. All the villagers were extremely happy. They celebrated Bhima and the other Pandavas. Now, the news of the death of this demon reached Duryodhana. He was a very, very powerful demon, and Duryodhana somewhere knew that it was Bhima, only Bhima, who could defeat that demon. And he started wondering who it was and was very, very afraid that the Pandavas would come back. Little did he know that the Pandavas were still alive and would come back and would eventually be the death of Duryodhana. We'll see how the story continues in our next episode. If you like this video, then like, leave a comment below and share it with all your friends and family. Until I see you next time, be good, do good always. Thank you. Bye.